Alright guys, we got a big best of 3. This is one of the best series from the group stage of IEM Katowice. Down here we got Time, #1 Terran from China, a very aggressive player who has just shown so much growth in the last few years. Standing in front of him though is the Zerg Titan, Dark. For those, I often get questions, they say, why do you sound a little bit aroused when you cast Dark's games? And I go, because Dark is so confident, he shit talks so much to his opponents. So, #1, always a bit of attitude with him, because you know he just wants to dumpster his opponents and show how much better he is than them. But on the other hand, he also kind of plays these weird, inefficient openings that just aren't very refined, and often gets behind, partially as a result of that. But boy, does he refuse to die. I mean, how many comebacks, how many draw games, how many insane almost comebacks or even complete comebacks from being where anyone else would be dead have we seen in the last few years. He just creates fun games. And that's why it's always such a challenge to play against him, because he's always resurrecting himself, dragging himself out of the grave. Of course, Time is a player who's very good at just punishing people. His sharp timing attacks, his Hellbat timings a few years ago were a thing of legend. But his macro play is absolutely solid, and his multi-prong is out of this world as well. So I really look at it and I go, Maru is awesome. And yes, he makes comebacks by kind of turtling up and dragging it into the mega late game. But I like Dark and Raynor, I think a little bit more in terms of game excitement. Just in terms of the way those guys play, the action that you get and the chaos is just insane. There's so much going around in terms of like Ravagers trying to gun down battle cruisers or something. Well, that was like Dark versus Bunny in GSL, I think it was, we saw. You just see these like wild comebacks all the time. So I love seeing all these different plays, different strategies coming out, and definitely the ones that involve a lot more interaction, because Dark, Raynor, those are the guys that will make a lot more backstabs to drag their ass back into a game from behind and from a deficit. So far, Time's Reaper coming in, just doing some normal Reaper-y things, picking off what he can, and it looks like it will be a quick third command center behind this. Dark does go for 6 Zerglings, despite this being one of the longer rush distances, and that's because Dark is incredibly inefficient. To be fair, him and Rogue both have been doing this every game. It's only one Reaper. He didn't even damage all the Zerglings. Like, you just don't need to build 6 Zerglings on big maps at all. So I do think it's as much as I love Dark for doing, you know, playing as well as he does, I do wonder if he would just be like 6-time world champion from 2016 all the way to 2022 if he just fixed his openings a little bit, because I do think his openings are a little bit dodgy. Reaper moving to the left side. We've got Hellions on the way there. Marines, Starport coming in as well. Reaper's going to poke on around. Queen pushing this back. Double Hellion production coming on in still. He's building a 2nd and a 3rd Marine. Is Hellbat timing? Is it Hellbat timing? Medevac? No, he's just going for a Viking. Okay, interesting. Why are we building 3 Marines? What a bizarre play from Time. I think he just wants to shut down the scouting. 2nd Marine, bit more standard. 3rd Marine is like, man, I do not want Overlords getting in my base at all. Dark still macroing up very nicely as creep is spreading on both sides. He's on 37 workers, working his way upwards. Double Widow Mine? Huh? Oh, okay, guys. Okay, guys. Time is getting real tricky. He's going to be going Medevac, and the Viking is going to kill this Overlord. Then it's going to go across, kill this Overlord, and that's going to open up the Widow Mine drop to get in the main without being spotted ahead of time. And that's his whole thing, is get that across. Does he build an armory, I wonder? It's going to be a 4 Widow Mine drop. Look at this. Overlord comes in for Dark from 2 sides. Does he see the lack of add-on on the Starport? I don't think so. Oh, he does see it. He does see it. So he should know it's either a Liberator or a Medevac. We'll see exactly how that goes, though. The Widow Mine drop is going to be interesting. Stim is on the way. And he's going to lift that factory off. 2nd and 3rd barracks should go down. Dark does not see the Widow Mines load into the Medevac, but he sees the 3rd command center and just about everything else. 9 Zerglings getting ready for a run by. There are 4 Marines at home. Make it 5. I do think they can defend 9 Zerglings pretty well if they're wedged in a corner as these Marines are. Widow Mine drop heading towards the main base. Viking. Looks like the Overlord pulled back, seeing that Viking heading out on the map. The Marines are going to get surrounded. Pretty good surface area to start. The Drilly Boys will come in and assist, though. And there we go. The Zerglings do get defended. It's a trade. 4 drones going down, though. Not bad. Widowmine's in the main base. 3 in the main, 1 in the natural. Oh, bringing it up to 8 workers killed. If you can get one big one on the natural, that'd be huge, but nice cleanup with the Zerglings. Can he save this one? Widowmine, he could if he's quick on it, and good enough. Gets that Widowmine, can come back later with that. Behind this, 5 barracks are on the way. Time, he's not quite oversaturated, so he's still building SCVs. Hasn't floated his third out just yet. Does decide to do it now. Still got these Hellions alive, which of course Hellions can micro endlessly versus Zerglings. As long as they don't get surrounded, they can technically defend you from an unlimited Zergling count, but Dark kind of shows his hand here, and that's very good for Time to realize what's going on. Oh, not bad. Does get 3 more worker kills. Viking on the left finds another Overlord as well. That is the 2nd Overlord kill for the Viking, 3rd one in general. Time! Time! Oh my god! Oh, okay, barely gets those Hellions out of the surround. That was very scary, dude. Oh my gosh. Dark does delay him saturating that 3rd base a little bit. Okay, so Dark here. He's seen the extra barracks. He knew Stim was coming down earlier. 4th base is on the way, but it's not particularly fast. That being said, man, the upgrades. Woo, those are quick upgrades. He's going to go straight into 2-2. Dark is miles ahead on the upgrade front, so that's really fantastic for him. Dark's economy, though, sucks balls, guys. Really, he's lower workers than the Terran. Oh, that's really bad for Dark. He's going double macro hatch, which is a great way to spend your money when you've got way too much of it, but he needs to be droning this base, and he needs to be doing it really right now. This is a very bad economy for him. So he's got to catch back up. The Marines are already coming across the map, though, so he doesn't have much time to. He's got 30 Zerglings, 5 Banelings morphing. And it's going to be what looks like a parading Widowmine style. I love this style. I love that Time's sticking with it when a lot of players are going towards tank styles. Keep in mind, though, it means there'll be a sharp fall-off in his effectiveness once Lurkers hit the field. Widowmines do burrow there. They're not going to achieve much, just damaging a single drone and some Overlords. Marine stim in on the front. Those Widowmines not really doing much other than just wasting mining time. Ooh, focuses down 4 of the Banelings. And look at that, the Widowmines just causing a nuisance there. That one will get targeted down. There are still some Widowmines in the main. Oh, he accidentally left that Widowmine in the natural. Dark! Dark! Dark, mate! Oi! Oh my god, he keeps going to kill it and not finishing it. Keeps pulling the Zerglings away. And the armory did actually kick in. Is that why? Oh, the armory kicked in during it. Oh, so he's got to wait for the Spore Crawler. No wonder. Oh, look at this, guys. So he's going to lure the Zerglings away maybe with the Widowmine. No, he does just pull it back. Drop in the left side, more units coming through the middle. This Widowmine drop gets a bit of a cheeky F2 there. That Widowmine tries to do the burrow, unburrow, wasting even more Dark's mining time. But Dark's now saturated this 4th base, so he's got a good economy up. He's back into that economic lead where Zerg wants to be. Time, though, is already trading very aggressively, and he's going to go deep, man. Look at this Widowmine Hellbat Marine out on the front of this base. The Queens are tanking a lot. I mean, Queens are so good at tanking. Speedbane's coming on in there, but look at this. He's losing so many drones, guys. Oh, Banelings do end up cleaning up that drop. It killed 11 workers up behind the 3rd, but then the Banelings did get on him when he wasn't looking. Time loses his push. He does do a lot of damage. It was good trades, but he does lose his push. This gives Dark a moment to respread creep. You can see he's respreading it there, and I'm telling you guys, Dark is chaotic. If you think of a player, Innovation is organized. Serral is organized. Dark is pure chaos. I'm telling you, man, he's drawn some pentagrams and sacrificed some animals on some mountaintops while dancing around a fire and chanting to friggin' Yargoth, the Chaos Lord of the Dark or some shit like that, because he's not super organized. He spread creep there. He didn't spread it on the left side or up the top left. He's right now, though, very good at going into these chaotic situations and just feeling confident right when a player who relies on organization might start to kind of falter. They might start to get a bit, this is too crazy. There's too much strange shit happening. Oh my god! Holy shit! Somebody called a Terran Inquisition. That Widowmine hit 1 Zergling and 20 Marines. Did you guys remind me at the end of this game to rewind to 9 minutes? Oh my god, that Widowmine. I don't know how the Zergling that it was targeting did not get shot down by the Marines. Time must have turned back and ran, but it hit almost purely friendly units. And Time there, a bit of bad luck with the Widowmines turning against his own side. And we'll see what goes on. The 5th command center's on the way. Dark buying himself just a moment of calm. He's just now respreading creep in the middle, but he doesn't really have great map control. The Zerglings do run in. Oh, look at that. Hey, the Zergling. Oh, Hero Zergling. Oh my god, is he going to kill multiple SCVs? Okay, does get cleaned up. Time fixes that up. Not really impactful. Would have been hilarious if it was. We've got 2 Widow Mines in the center as a nice fallback point. But Hydras are now out, and Hydra's going to be very good for picking off Widow Mines from out of range. Very good for starting to gun down the drops. If this 5th base can get properly established, Dark's going to have a nice bump in his income. Oh, Time just focused down about 4 or 5 Banelings. Again, let's check in on that units lost tab. Still a bit too close in the units lost, though. Time has been pushing so hard and kind of getting in underneath the skin of Dark, but that also means he's been fighting very deep on creep where the Zerg can find a bit more efficiency than they normally would. And now, as tanks come out as well, we've got 1 factory on a reactor, 1 on a tech lab, vehicle weapon upgrades coming in, +2 even, which is very nice. Dark's going to go for a giant Ling run by. Okay, that's a lot of Zerglings. Okay, get in a corner, mate, get in a corner. Does go forward to fight these Lings. The Lings are going to go for the surround on them, but the Bio army does fall back. It looks like a few units did go in there and die as well. This Baneling Morph not going to find anything. Time, a wise pullback, but once again, Dark, what's he buying for himself? He's buying time. 21 kills on that Widow Mine, 2 on the one on the right. The Bio Mine going to try and siege up a bit of an ambush. These rocks are still up, nowhere to run for Time. And Dark, oh, it looked like a great fight, but he's got to get rid of these tanks at the very least. He can't be pulling out of here. One of those tanks still does stand strong. I thought that there was going to be an absolute rout with Dark coming out the victor, but Time wasn't facing that many Banelings, so it felt like his units held their own. And right now it's still tied neck and neck economically. 5th base is up. Mass Mule starting to drop on that base. Ghost Academy's on the way. We've got 3/3 upgrades for the Terran. The Hive has not yet finished. So Time, he's on equal upgrades right now, but give him about, 1 minute from now, he's going to have a big upgrade advantage for at least 3 or 4 minutes. These Widow Mines, ooh, getting some juicy hits, but they do finally get cleaned up. Tanks are going to siege up on this high ground. Still trying to control the center of the map is Time. And he does just that. Ghosts coming in 4 at a time. You can see there's 8 barracks right now, guys. 4 with tech labs, 4 with reactors, so 8 Marines and 4 Ghosts able to be built at a time. 7 medevacs at any one moment. Shit, guys. Apologies to those who do enjoy novelty in their casting and not repeating the player name 400 times to describe things. It just kind of works out that time is kind of the most important concept in a real-time strategy game. It kind of is, so it's going to come up a lot. I probably should have looked up synonyms before starting this cast. I failed you, YouTube and Twitch chat. I'm sorry. I'll look them up next time. I always do that before a nice or a time cast. If you guys are an aspiring caster out there, hot tip. If you're casting a player who has a name that is literally just a word that is used to describe things, yeah, probably look up some synonyms beforehand. So, right now, it is, of course, Dark. Now getting map control. Now getting his 5th base. He's got Vipers. He's got... Does he have Lurkers? Where's his Lurker Den? No Lurker Den? Oh, he's just playing Ling Hydra Viper? Super cool mobile style. He's going to look to swarm. But there's still a lot of Widow Mines mixed in, and I think that's what's going to make this really hard for Dark. The Ghost count also has been proliferating quite quickly. The double drops are still out here. Denying these middle bases is very important. It's actually a triple drop on the right. And the army... Oh, look at this ledge. You do not want to fight anywhere near this ledge. You got to go all the way around to get at those tanks. And Dark! Oh, Dark is so sick. Oh my god, he's just like, yeah, or I can just run around with all of my Zerglings, dickhead. And he gets us around on those units. The SCVs on the mineral line, they get mostly defended. The Bio trying to get back here. Oh, he's going to get in. He's going to get in. You got to raise these depots, at least raise the wall. The Lings are in. They're in time. Oh, we only raised one of the depots. Meanwhile, in the top, it looks like this Ling Bane will clean up all of those Widow Mines. Ling's in the main doing even more damage. This is not crippling because Time did keep most of his workers alive, but all of his Widow Mines died on the front at the same moment. He's got to rebuild those, and that was a fantastic choice for Dark. He says, look, you've set up the biggest kill zone of ever around this cliff. Screw it, go up the guts, straight towards the Terran rally point. And I always talk about how in late game, when players get very focused on these edge bases and these outer areas they want to secure, often pushing right up the Terran's guts is the way to go. So I think that was a great trade for Dark. You can see he's still within 5,000 resources units lost, which in Terran versus Zerg is fantastic trading. He's got 3/3, Adrenal, Lurker upgrades on the way. Still on just Lingbane Hydra right now. It looks like his Vipers did get sniped down, or his Viper got sniped down. Time is going to start building a Maru of defense. He's going to put planetary turret all across this map. Planetaries on every single side. Meanwhile, the female Karak over here on one side of this thing. 3 Zerglings on the other side hanging out with a little fire beetle. Little fire beetle says... Blum, 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 blum. The Zerglings come in, but the planetary is now finished. Widowmine there, overkilling the corpse of that Zergling. 168 Zerglings, 6 Hydras, 18 Banelings. So, in the late game, funnily enough, the Terran sometimes gets such a fancy army that just mass Zerglings with a handful of Banelings ends up countering sections of that army, especially because the Terran becomes more and more cumbersome. You've got Ghosts, it's a fancy spellcaster. You've got Bio that needs to stim and spread. You've got tanks that need to siege. You've got such a complicated army. And the Lings can just kind of run around and find the weak spots. So it definitely can be an army that is surprisingly cost efficient since it's mostly tier 1 units. On the other hand, if the Terran army is set up correctly, you will see just how bad Lingbane is. The Widow Mines could get devastating shots on it. Splash damage annihilates this sort of force. And with planetaries coming up everywhere, it's going to make it really hard for Lingbane to perform. 6 lurkers on the way. We've got a great summary in Twitch chat of my last bit of analysis. Terran is really, really hard. Lings can yeet stuff. Yeah, okay, yeah, that pretty much sums it up in a much simpler way that anyone can understand. On the other hand, the Yeet army, the YOLO mass Zergling army, as easy as it is to use in comparison, you just kind of chuck it in the right place at the right time. It also has a tendency to be incredibly useless against splash damage in big fights. So it's kind of, the art form is not how you micro the Zerglings, it's where you engage the Zerglings and where you commit them. And that takes a lot of understanding strategically, positionally, tactically. Right now we've got pathogen glands on the way. That tells me that we might be considering a transition here for Dark. He does go Lurkerden as well, so if he loads Lurkers into that Nidus, we might start to see the Lurker Nidus coming up behind it. Dark is unable to secure these middle bases, and usually the Terran is massively favored in this scenario. Dude, thank you so much, Pyro, by the way, guys. Those of you watching on YouTube are like, Pig, talk about the game. Guys, I'll talk about the game after I say thank you to Pyro, the god of all, who just gifted 20 subs. Thank you so much, Pyro. If you guys also want to get personalized shoutouts at the end of some of my videos and interrupt my content as much as possible while supporting good, honest StarCraft content, click the Patreon link down below in the YouTube description, guys. Thank you very much. Check it out and hop on board if you want. Oh! Do you see that Widow Mine shot? Oh my god. I'm telling you guys, these Widow Mines... Ooh, that one hit more ghosts than it did Zerglings. Oh, a lot of the ghosts die. A lot of them to a Widow Mine there. But I gotta say, even losing like 7-8 ghosts there, that's still gotta be a good trade for the Terran, man. That was like 200 Zerglings and 30 Banelings for... it doesn't show the ghosts that get... It doesn't show friendly fired units, so we're not going to use that units lost tab, because notice all the ghosts were in the red, and it was actually the Widow Mine that finished off about 6 or 7 ghosts there. So that's why we actually can't see how many ghosts died. That's why that units lost tab, as cool as it looks, doesn't actually show us... It only shows us Banelings that were shot down, not Banelings that blew themselves up as well. So this is why that units lost tab, not so useful. 10,000 resources lost more by Dark, 28,000 to 18. And if he can't get these middle bases and he keeps trading like this, he's just screwed. Now, we've got ghosts coming out, enhanced shockwaves, but also blue flame. So Time is actually thinking about just adding a couple of blue flame Hellbats in the mix just to mess with these mass circling trades. And look at that, guys. Tank in the main, shuts down the Nidus Worm. No way that's going to get up. A fountain of blood there. Time realizing that is one of the ways Terran players do tend to lose in the late game. Marine Marauder. Don't know why he picked up to run away there. You're already literally at your static defenses. I guess he's just rotating to use the same hotkey of Bio to deny the left base now. Hey, Dark! Look at that. Dark comes in and he gets in minimum range there. The changelings do go down. Can the tank kill the Nidus in time? Yes, I think it can. The Nidus will fall just before it pops. Oh, Hydra Lurker up the guts. Tanks were a little bit exposed there, but there's still tanks on the right side. That planetary might go down. Mass Cloak, maybe not necessary for Time. Remember, that does drain a lot of energy. 25 to activate. Oh my god, he kills so many Lurkers though. Yeah, Dark is getting a little bit cumbersome at this point. I feel like he's just going, me make smack you, me make smack Terran player, Bomby Knocker good. And I gotta say, as much as I love the Bomby Knocker, it's my favorite medieval weapon of choice. I do feel like Dark's gonna have to get a little bit more elegant with how he breaks these positions. And I mean, he's trying to slow siege this one. There's no tanks in range right now, so that's pretty effective. He is gonna get punished on the right side though for it. Those lurkers getting absolutely blasted. Mass transfuse! Mass transfuse, actually keeping that lurker alive for a really long time. But the queens are all going to fall. This planetary will go down eventually. Trying to repair it is time, but not going to be able to get it. His depot is actually blocking his SCVs from repair. The lurkers will run forward, but the tank's still doing big damage here. Uh-oh, Mass Ling comes in. Dark, he's still got a bit of bank behind this. Not a lot. Time actually has more than him. But Time has to defend his production and his wall's breached. Oh, he's got to raise the main. Okay, as long as he raises the main, he can defend up there. Clicking on the orbital. Dark just hoping he doesn't notice in time, but Time, quick response, does raise the orbital. Libs are here, Bio's here. That Nidus Worm will not be getting up. Tries to burrow a few Zerglings, but with a couple scans, Time will clean that up. And very nice. Gets almost all the Zerglings with the first scan. Lurker Ling in the middle. Dark trying to press forward and break this tank line, but there isn't enough Zerglings. Wait, there is. There's just enough Zerglings to get on top of these tanks. The Lurkers leading the charge. A Liberator does try to get back here. These Lurkers going to try and quickly reposition to the left side. He's done a lot of damage to Time, but it came at a hefty cost once more. A few ghosts go down, 3 Lurkers fall. Dark's still unable to properly mine from these middle bases. The tanks, the Libs, it's just still sieging everything down on this right side. The problem for Time, and the one victory for Dark, is the fact that he's lost control of the front center ridge. And now that he's lost that and this left base, attacks could materialize up his left flank straight into his natural without him spotting them ahead of time. And he can't control the middle to the point where he can easily branch forward from there. So Dark does break some of the defenses of Time. The problem Dark's having is that his economy is not that great. He's got no bank to work with. He's struggling to max back out. But what's really cool here is that Dark realizes this game's going to go so long, you do not want to spend any more money on drones. Just try to mine out these middle bases, the minerals, the gas, as much as possible. He really should be putting all of his workers on the minerals and gas there. But as is a common complaint that you guys hear from me, is that top tier pro gamers always are focused on the here and now, the momentum. And that does come at the cost of realizing just putting an extra 10 workers on this base, on the minerals, the gases, is damaging your opponent. None of the top pros appreciate this until they have nothing else left to focus on. It's something which is a huge gap in their late game play. And in a meta which goes to late game so often, you think they'd fix this up. I'm sure there's one pro gamer out there that's doing it. And I gotta say, hats off to you, mate. But the rest of them could learn from this. Bio's gonna think about stimming forward lurkers. Not a good fight for Time. A little bit derpy there. This right side, tanks, libs, mines, still going to be hard to engage. This is a mostly Lurker Hydra Baneling army. And I'll tell you what, Mass Liberator Tank Ghost annihilates Lurker Baneling. I think this is the wrong composition for Dark right now. He's got Infestors, so he's going to try and maybe fungal the Bio and the Ghosts. I just don't know if that's really going to work out. So he's trying to defend with Lurker plus Fungal. I wouldn't want to push into this if I were you, Time. Be careful, mate. There's only 4 Lurkers, though. And he does land a big EMP, another big EMP. The Marauders are going to take that one out. Meanwhile, Dark does crack through the tanks on the right side. Loses a few Lurkers and Banes, but he's going to break down Time's bases. This is a big victory for Dark. Time, I almost said, but it is Dark. Time is pushing the left side. He's trying to use zoning nukes. They're not really working out. Dark's going to kill 4 command centers at Times on the right side of the map. And that's a huge problem right now, because Time's only killing the 1 center base. Dark still has the whole top left corner mining. And another command center goes down. These need to lift off. These do need to lift off right now, man. I feel like Tark is kicking Dime's ass. No, not really. I'm kidding, guys. It's still very, very close, but losing all that economy means that Time has to start being efficient. Up to this point, Time didn't really need to be efficient because he was denying the middle bases, and it felt like an inevitability that he would be the one who was able to secure them. But now he's lost these 2 bases, and Dark still got his whole top left corner mining. That's a lot of healthy income. Dark's back into heavy Zergling now, 47 Zerglings. He's going up to 11 Infestors. He wants to chain fungal these ghosts. That's how he sees this one actually taking it out. Spire building in the back. Man, there's so much static units for Time. And he's getting great upgrades on them and a great tank count. I think at this point, a tank ghost, you might have to play Broodlord Infestor as Dark. So far, he's used mobility to his advantage. Time does need to probably put a planetary up the guts. And once again, when your opponent pushes on the extremes, push down the middle. This has been Dark's MO this whole series. He does lose a few infestors rallying on the left side. He does get behind some of these Hydras, but dude, these tanks are trading. So I think this is a terrible fight for Dark. Dark has just wedged himself into a very dangerous area. All these libs aren't really fighting though, and he does get a Baneling fungal combo. But at the end of it, he does have to fall back, and as I said, not a great trade, guys. He's still way down in that units lost tab. 42,000 to 55,000. Time reestablishing the bottom right side. He's got plenty of tanks and libs, even though he doesn't have planetaries. And if he can shuffle these tanks up to this area, move this planetary up there, he'll retake the center, and that would be huge. Now, Dark, he's got this left side base. He's got to saturate that immediately. Mine out as much as he can. He's already thinking about the Broodlord transition. Expect a Great Aspire very soon. You don't really need air upgrades. You just need Broodlords, Infestors, as long as you have melee, so the Broodlings do lots of damage. The actual Broodlord attack, Broodlord armor is not that important because you never really want them to be getting attacked. Oh my god. Sorry guys, we need to interrupt your normally planned broadcast to analyze late game mechanics and unit compositions to say, holy shizzle fizzle, Pyro is the Chad of all Chads. He has literally stepped into the cantina of the pig channel and he's just lit a bloody fire on the floor and thrown some firecrackers in it, and we're okay with it. 50 gifted subs in the last 15 minutes. Thank you so much, you absolute savage. Holy crudsicles, dude. Literally doubling like today's sub count. That is actually wild, man. The Bio Ghost on the left side pushing back those Zerglings. Nidus Worm on the right side. Oh no. Oh no, Time didn't spot it. Uh-oh. Guys, he's going to lose his bottom right side again. These bases so open. Now, the Corruptors came in and just picked off a lib. They were looking for another one. This base has to lift. He's got to fall back. Time still has a giant army. But remember, I said it's about efficiency. Yes, he's denied this base, but Dark has done such a good job of avoiding fighting him where he wants to be fought. And look at that. Pops in, evacuates the base. Time's going to have to slowly, surely fix this one up. I really feel like Maru is the king of this situation because he gets a Viking and he floats around and just cleans up all the overlords. Snipe will do for now. And the Widowmine up here blocking this base. Marine Marauder going to come in as well. Time is still ahead in this game. But I always feel like there is... You're never out of the water when your opponent's name is Dark. You could have triple his supply, and there's still the fact that his name is Dark. Your Time, you're very, very good, but his name is Dark! His name is Dark and Darkson. And you will damn well remember him well after he's retired, for he has given us, especially in the last 2 years of games, like, honestly, just the most exciting comebacks we've ever seen. And if he does it here in this game, that would be so sick. Will he do it? I still think it's a little bit of a long shot, but it all comes down to how well can you handle the Broodlord Infestor? How well can you handle it? Because that's a complicated composition. You've got 12 Liberators. Do they have advanced ballistics? Yes, they do. I mean, that's a cute composition. I just don't think it's an amazing composition, you know? Oh, look at this. Scan plus Siege Tank. Oh, that's so annoying. I think he needs a pack of Vikings, and I think Time is going to need to lower his tank count. 18 tanks is way too many. So I think the trick here for Time is keep your Ghosts alive. Oh, he's got 3 Thors, which is actually pretty damn good. And you can see he's pulled out his big 250mm Punisher cannons. Now, I know there's a lot of people in my community who have claimed that, you know, I should take a look at their 250mm Punisher cannon. But just once again, a reminder for those of you who have followed me over on Twitter, x5_pig, I am not accepting unsolicited Punisher cannon pictures, okay, guys? If you want, you know, you should always ask before you send those out to people. And my standing policy is please never send those to me. It's not my favorite thing to see. Ooh, that's a lot of Broodlords that just got sniped. The Broodlords overstepping across the cliff where the Infestors could not cover them with fungal. And that is 6 Broodlords going down there. That is a big issue, mate. Liberator's going to shove forward. The Liberator's a very good anti... Oh, he's just going to leave? Really? Oh my god, he just leaves. Okay, Dark was like way behind. He's got very little bank to work with. And since that base died, he's like, yeah, no, I'm dead. Nope, I'm dead. Yep, he should not have chased over that gap. I mean, because he couldn't even replace the Broodlords. He had a really sick army, right? But then you see, like, he loses this base to just a tank and a few units. And the Broodlords try to take advantage because he thinks most of Time's army is still on the left side of the map. Bit of a gamble from Dark. Gets massively punished. Does he even kill a single ghost here? No. And he's got no income? Oh, and these drones aren't even mining, which maybe he didn't realize. But I think he just looked at it and was like, oh, I have no money coming in. And he's like, oh, I'm actually screwed. Because he knows Time is so rich. Time's going to take that base. Time has minerals there, plenty of minerals there, plenty of minerals here. And he's just being too cost inefficient. Time plays a beautiful game and finally forces Dark out of it. We're very quickly going to check that 9-minute Widow Mine, guys, because I feel like there was a lot of friendly fire mines in this game. But at 9 minutes, I feel like there was like a disgusting friendly fire mine over here. And I just want to watch that one in slow-mo. I think it was this guy. All right, guys, let's watch this before we hop into game 2. Let's check this out. Oh! Oh my god, did you see that? Okay, my eyes did not deceive me. Watch this Widow Mine, guys. So, this Widow Mine. Okay. Oh my god, that is so disgusting. There was another really brutal one on the ghosts later. But look at this. So this is the problem with getting your Marines overextended. Time is running away. And if you stop turning to shoot, if you turn and shoot, you're going to kill these Zerglings, and the Widow Mine will automatically track onto the big clump of Lingbane. But because he's not shooting, that Zergling survives. It gets right up in the guts, and a massive shot kills like 8 or 9 Marines there. Oh my god. I mean, he gets a great Widow Mine on some Lingbane there as well. So it's not like it was the worst thing, but holy crap, that was pretty brutal, dude. Let's go back to the... People were saying at 18 minutes there was a friendly fire mine as well. All right, we'll very quickly take a glance to see if we can catch that one, guys. Whoops. Here we go. I'm pretty sure the Banelings were probably going to kill these ghosts anyway. Oh, that was mostly tanks, wasn't it? I'm not sure if that was a Widow Mine as well. Might have been this Widow Mine as well. Oh, it was. Right? Oh, it's on the Overseer. It shot the Overseer. Oh, the Overseer dragged it right into the ghosts. Ow, 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 ow. Ah. Despite some nasty friendly fire mines, he got some really massive ones on Dark as well. GG, well played. Let's go into game 2. All right, guys, let's go into map number 2. Time on the top right of 2,000 atmospheres. Got to be happy with how that one unraveled. His opponent, though, going to be a little more angry. This is Chadman himself. Dark. He's a beast. He's a monster. So the drone will be going down there to take a hatchery, and he's going to be scouting for a proxy barracks. Oh, okay. So Dark actually thinks, oh, you know, okay, I'm down a game. Time's going to try and proxy Rex me out of this series. Now, obviously, they both play against each other a lot on the Korean ladder. That tells us that Time probably does proxy barracks Dark a fair bit, and with quite some success on the ladder. And hatch gas pool in the main. Doesn't find a proxy barracks, of course, so this does slow down Dark's build a little bit. You can see his spawning pool's already a couple seconds later. Just everything's a little delayed. Having to send that drone out, loses some minerals there. Got the Reaper there. Command Center is going to be going down. Very straightforward and standard build for Time. Haven't seen him skip the Reaper at all, have I?
Thanks for the Bezos box.
Thank you very much for the Bezos box, guys. Appreciate the support there. Questions about how to use the core. Make sure you get in the core Discord and ask the core Discord hotkey nerds about that stuff. If you guys have any questions about the core. Of course, this is more for the live viewers, as I saw a question about that. But if you hit !core in my chat, that should link their Discord channel. There's a bunch of hotkey nerds in there that can help you out. I cannot help people with the core. I use a very old version of it. 6 Zerglings on the way, very standard for Dark. He wants to take this triangle third at the front, which, I don't know, I prefer the other third base. And I've seen Solar prefer the other third as well. This front third, though, does allow you to take the 4th right next to it and really focus on dominating the left side of the map. So, in a way, it simplifies your game plan to control that side of the map rather than the very, very defensive setup you end up in if you're expanding to both sides of the map at the same time, where the Terran can pick at you wherever they choose. Ooh, a little slow to get forward there, but just gets the Zerglings forward in time to protect that tumor. Nicely done. Third command center goes down for time immediately there. Very nice. Orbital command center is on the way as well. 6 Zerglings break down that depot, or that unbuildable plate, I should say. Now the Overlord at the front here for Dark, if it's allowed to just chill there this whole time, and since it's out of vision, it looks like it will, he can actually see with this Overlord in about 20-30 seconds, if there's no depot started, he'll be like, oh, I know you've played 3cc. And he can already probably read into that just from the fact that there's no Hellions in vision. It's already getting past the point where Hellions should have popped out unless your opponent delayed them to get third command center, starport, and then build the Hellions. And at this point, Dark should know he's up against a very greedy 3cc build. Reaper still hasn't managed to kill anything in this game, so no Reaper attacks. But Dark built 6 safety Zerglings, so that's kind of to be expected. And it's going to be a Banshee to start up, but no Cloak, of course. Doesn't have the gas for it just yet. Second gas came down quite late. So Overlord still sees a lot of what's going on over this natural, but Hellion production does, continue at this point. And he's building more Marines. He likes to build at least 2 Marines to deny the Overlord sacrifice. Does get a creep tumor finally, does time, doesn't take any real damage. Second gas. Okay, so this is a Dark special. He's just like, I'm gonna take a second gas, guys, and now. And I'm always like, why? And he goes double Evo, but not in the same position. This one's very easy for Marine drops to snipe later on. Dark plays so chaotically. It's just, he does this weird, fluid way of doing things. And I don't know if it's good for a mortal, but I know for him it's godlike, because I'll tell you guys, Dark was the first player who, when I saw their first person view at one of the BlizzCons, I was absolutely flabbergasted. Just amazingly quick response times, jumping around, managing so many tasks, and it's constantly checking things. He's constantly checking every little detail, so he can deal with chaotic situations and things so well. And look at this, he's building spores between his bases. Because his lair's so late, he knows the Banshee is going to be a nuisance. Now, it is actually only 1 Banshee with no cloak, so 5 spores, that's already more than enough damage. The Banshee, just by showing itself, has actually forced Dark to invest in a lot. Now, Dark is rushing 1-1 upgrades, though, so he's going to have an epic upgrade advantage over time, who, of course, investing in the Banshee. It's a little bit later on that. The Hellions haven't really found anything just yet. Could have kept attacking and used the splash damage to kill that creep tumor. I like that Dark, realizing he can't spread to the front, says, I'll spread to the left, and when the Hellions are moved, then we can creep down here. For those who don't know, look at it. It does come out there, but some people have criticized me saying they don't poo it, they place it. Where do you think they get it? Why do you think it comes out of their big fat tail looking thing? It's definitely a poo. Banshee does damage the hatchery. Oh, he's just gonna click it. Oh, that was cool. Time ignores the queens and just clicks on it. Very nicely done. We've got 5 barracks on the way as well. Got Marines and tanks here. Okay, Baneling Nest. 3 more hatcheries coming in. This is so Dark-esque. I like to do it this way, but Dark will often then build another macro hatchery. And this just allows him to, like, miss a crazy number of injects. Like, right now, guys, he has 7 queens. He's not injecting properly at all. He really should queue up some injects. This is actually awkward the way he does it. So, once again, Dark with a bit less efficiency, but it's going to allow him to put more of his actions into the fighting and less into injecting and hitting proper macro cycles. So this is part of the beauty of Dark, is he actually prepares for a more chaotic situation and says, that's fine, I'll put my extra APM into my micro, my backstabs, my engagements, and I'll just play, you know, straight up to 7 hatcheries, 6 hatcheries. What is it? 5 base plus 2 macro hatch, right? Yeah, 7 hatcheries. Ooh, that's a lot of Hellbats, though. Banelings aren't quite ready yet. He's going to have to pull these queens back. Spore Crawler does go down. Needs the Banelings to clear the Hellbats. Hellbats are a little clumped there. Ooh, time with some big miss micro there. Maybe a little bit excited. The moment he saw those Banelings, he needed to spread the Hellbats and make sure those medevacs were sitting above the Marines ready to evacuate. So a bit of an overcommitment for time, and I think that gives Dark an easy road to droning up. And yeah, there we go. 8 drones. He's already grabbing 2 more gases. And he's going straight to Hive as well. Okay. Okay. Time, you pissed Dark off. And now Dark is going into the dark zone of greedy shitbaggery. Like, this is actually disgusting. He's going to go above 90 workers, maybe even. He's going to have such fast ultras, I guess, right? It's got to be ultras. Because he hasn't made a Hydra Den. I mean, we know Dark's kind of inefficient, but I think Ultras are one of the best units in the game. The most underrated unit. Every Zerg out there, oh, Ultras are bad. Ultras are amazing. And we do not see this fast Hive into Ultra style nearly as much as we should, in my opinion. Okay, guys, 4th command center is about 3/4 of the way done. 2-2's not too far behind for time. He's building tanks. Reactor's about to finish on a 2nd factory, but by the time Widow Mines start hitting the field, he's going to be up against a Zerg player that is building Ultras, Adrenal. The 3-3 of the Zerg is actually probably going to be ahead of the Terran, and that's never a good situation for the Terran. Especially not on only 69 workers and 3 bases right now. We should see that Ultra Cavern going down any moment now. Still skip these gases. You don't really need a lot of gas for Lingbane into Ultra. And does pull back. Big enough rally. Happened to be sitting at home there for time. Dark. He's not started the Adrenal Glands or any of that Hive Tech. He's taken a bit long in this. There we go. Adrenal starts. 2 Vipers start. Would be crazy as if Dark just plays Lingbane Viper. Doesn't go Ultras or Hydras or Lurkers. But Dark's crazy enough to do it, man. And right now, you know what? It's looking really, really good. He's set up so well. His creep is dominating. Look at the way Dark's control groups are set up. He's got this squad here. That's for more defending drops. And then he's got his main army. That's on the other side of the map. Moving over to the left while this army postures on the right. He's got those 2 Vipers on number 3 that are coming out. They're going to suck energy off one of those buildings soon enough. And oh, Time, get out of there, buddy. Whoa, Time running into a very rough situation. Only saves 8 of those Marines there. He's got to get these SCVs out of here. Just an insane number of Lingbane. Dark says it's go time, dickhead. Let's fight. And Time is in a bit of disarray. His Widow Mines aren't quite here. His Marines are too clumped. Time panicking a little bit. Ever since that first Hellbat fight, the Widow Mines might just barely be his saving grace, keeping him alive. But no, more Zerglings coming behind that. And a brutal max out 2-2 mass Lingbane timing off the back of the double Evo build. Time throwing away that first Hellbat Marine push gave too much freedom. Dark was already greedy up to that point, and then he just ran away with that game. All right, guys, let's go. Up here in the top right side. Time facing the greed of Dark in that last game. Unable to take it down. Down here in the bottom left, it's Dark. And it's Glittering Ashes, which is a pretty big map. Pretty good Zerg map, so I think a very important victory, that last one on 2K Atmospheres, right? What's interesting is there's no Curious Minds, no Berlingrad. Wait. This is a best of 3. Guys, that means that... What the hell did Time veto? So let's say Dark took out Curious Minds and Berlingrad. Does that mean Time vetoed Pride of Altaris? Why would Time veto Pride of Altaris? Isn't that a good Terran map? Or does he not want to play against the gold base for some reason? Because I never see TVZ on that map, and I always assumed it's because it's like really good for Terran, but maybe it's really good for Zerg? I don't know. But I'm not, and then Blackburn. Who vetoed Blackburn? Because Blackburn's really good for Terran as well. I'm really confused by the vetoes and why we've ended up with 2K Atmospheres and Glittering Ashes. I think Time may have done a bit of the upside down with the vetoes. Now, as someone who does cast the Chinese region, and I follow these players a lot, we often go into the season and we go, okay, this map's good for Terran, this map's bad for Protoss. And then we see that the Chinese players sometimes do the opposite in their vetoes, where they actually go and they do the opposite vetoes. So I'm not really sure. I do know that seeing both Glittering, Hardwire, and 2K Atmospheres is definitely a much bigger map pool than you'd expect in a Terran versus Zerg. And I think it's normally because the players would veto differently. So Time's clearly coming with some very different vetoes. Chat's telling me Pride's really bad for Terran. It's really good for Zerg, apparently. I'm like, I haven't watched any pro matches on it, so I actually hadn't even thought about it. I haven't been playing that much ZvT or TVZ recently. There's not many Terrans on NA or Zergs, unfortunately. It's all Protoss, so it is what it is. But either way, that's super weird though, that it's like, where's Blackburn, where's Pride? Where's Berlingrad? Where's Curious Minds? Anyways, third command center once again here for Mr. Time. Dark doing a big old macro build as well. His third queen feels pretty late though. He's going to go double tumor. His inject is so late. And he's got a quick third hatchery, which is, oh, not even quick. It's like normal timed. I feel like this third queen's very late for Dark. I don't really like that. Now, Hellions are on the way. The Lings have dodged the Reaper. Oh, and he's got a real quick Ling speed. This is really cute. These Hellions are very late, guys. They started on time, but normally the Ling speed doesn't kick in this fast. Fresh Mule. Oh, it's a Fresh Mule. Can he get that Fresh Mule if he can finish it? It's got 10 hit points. 2 more Zergling hits to get that Mule. He's not going to be able to get it. Great. Oh, he is. He goes for it again. The Mule's pulled. Oh, Time with a quick response there, but I mean, he still lost 2 SCVs. This is still really good for Dark. This is 4 of your initial Zerglings. You don't even care about losing those. And you still wasted a lot of minerals, but at least the Mules get to mine a bunch more before they do run out. Got second gas going down and a Roach Warren and a third gas here for Dark. So he's going to be playing a bit of a return to the cave Bob, maybe. A bit more of that. And he's building 12 more Zerglings to help defend this. Only 4 queens. A 5th queen is on the way. Hellions will poke in, but with the queen up front, should be able to deflect this. And Blue Flame starting up. Oh, did he spot this? Oh, he spotted the Blue Flame. So he's reactively dropped a Roach Warren. Oh, guys, he's just going to do a big Ravager Ling. And this has been spotted, so Time really should build a tank. He really should build a tank. Knowing this has been spotted, you know your opponent's going to go straight Roaches. So you're going to need to go straight into Cyclones, even just to be offensive, right? I mean, I get he's just continuing with the build. 3cc Blue Flame into Mech, it looks like. But, oh, I really think he needs to make sure he builds a tank. Because otherwise, Ravager Ling's just going to kill him. 8 Roaches on the way. Dark's like, dude, if you're building 2 factory Blue Flame Hellion, you're just going to die to this. And the thing is, even if there is a tank, if it's on the edge and then your Overlord spots the high ground, you could like bile the tank down. So unless Time is really careful, he could straight up die here. And look at this, guys. The Lings are a distraction. Distraction! Hey, Terran player! Distraction, look over here! Meanwhile, the Roaches are coming through the middle of the map and they're getting across the map without getting spotted. Those Zerglings, they throw away their lives, but for a very good cause. And this, oh no, Time is going to have no time to respond. Oh, look at this. And the Roaches are even waiting in the middle for a few more Roaches to come so we can kind of like group up, ambush the Aliens, takes one of them out. A few more Lings are going to run in. He's going to try and set up for this push by causing some more chaos. Oh no, this is so bad for Time. The Hellion getting surrounded. Maybe if he gets on top of the ramp and sets up a concave, but he definitely can't defend the low ground, that's for sure. What's he got building behind this? Tank and a Marauder are almost out. Okay, so if Time just pulls to the high ground, I think he can deflect this. That tank is out right now. He's got to pull to the high ground, cancel these depots and bunkers. What's Time doing fighting out here for so long? This is a big mistake, man. The bile forces him to turn and fight for a moment, but now he's eating massive biles. Time, get back! Get up the ramp, bro! Oh, no, Time! Oh, and that was a very good reaction by Dark. That first Zergling run by, such a small detail, but it delayed the mules from mining. He saw exactly what went on with the build order, and he was like, oh, you're going to go Blue Flame. That dies to Roaches, especially if I just keep Zergling backstabbing you so you never get across the map. So this very clever Ling run by. The Reaper did not see it, and that's actually just beautiful play. 2 SCV kills, almost gets the mule. Did he kill the Marine? And he gets the Marine as well. Oh, so well done. So yeah, Time definitely needed to switch it up at this point and just say, you know what, let's just get Magfield. I actually wouldn't have minded Magfield Cyclone production and do this kind of like, I'm just going to start pressuring you with Cyclone Hellion. That's a bit gimmicky. Maybe just build a tank straight away. But you can see he's a little slow to build his orbital, actually, even. He was like focusing on building Hellions and Blue Flames so hard. And just the Roach Warren, triple gas. If this Hellion Reaper ran in here and they spotted no drones on this third, that might have told him. But look at this. Another 2 Zerglings went in, pick off an SCV, run away. This is just expert misdirection and distractions to set up for this push. Beautiful play by Dark. And once again, Dark, ultimately flexible. He can just throw out the crazy all-ins. He can mix in these weird little Ling run-bys. And he's so good at taking a Terran player who looks so promising like Clem or Time and then just hitting them at unexpected timings, unexpected angles, and making it look easy. So after a really hard-fought game 1, just gets kind of bopped out of game 2 and game 3, and Dark still the #1 Chad gamer. GG, well played.